1 minute ago. That's essentially Donald Trump's message to UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer right now, and the retaliation is already hitting Britain in ways many still haven't recognized. If you're surprised at how fast the special alliance has collapsed, hit subscribe, because this story turns much darker and the financial fallout is about to strike British households directly. Let's go back to see how this started. For years, Starmer's Labour Party didn't just oppose Trump. They carried out a targeted smear campaign. Sociopath, dictator, racist, pathetic little man, neo-Nazi supporter, danger to global stability. These weren't casual online rants from fringe MPs. These were organized public statements from Britain's now governing party, including cabinet figures currently leading the nation. Foreign Secretary David Lammy even labeled Trump a woman-hating, neo-Nazi sympathizing sociopath. The same people now expect recognition as reliable partners. But here's where Starmer made a fatal mistake. Trump never forgets a slight. And now he is once again the most powerful leader on the planet with the largest economy and strongest military at his command. January 20th, 2025. Trump's second inauguration. Leaders from around the globe arrived, eager for FaceTime with the returning president. Italy's Giorgia Meloni front row, multiple photo opportunities. Argentina's Javier Milei, VIP treatment with private meetings arranged. Even controversial figures secured invitations. Starmer? Not even included. The British Prime Minister, supposedly America's closest ally, was entirely excluded from the event. This wasn't a bureaucratic mistake. It was a deliberate public humiliation of Britain's leader on the world stage. The diplomatic equivalent of crossing out someone's name on the guest list and making sure it was noticed. The signal to the international community was unmistakable. Britain no longer mattered. Its leader insulted Trump, so the entire nation is being treated as insignificant. But the inaugural snub was only Trump's opening play. The real retaliation was about to begin. Here's where Starmer's troubles shift from humiliating to possibly unlawful. Labour Party officials didn't just attack Trump during his campaign. They actively meddled in the U.S. election. They organized trips sending labor activists into swing states like Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, where they campaigned door-to-door for Kamala Harris. They even posted on LinkedIn, recruiting volunteers and offering housing for British citizens who wanted to help defeat Trump. Once this surfaced, Trump's legal team quickly filed formal complaints with the Federal Election Commission, labeling it illegal foreign interference in American elections. They charged Labor with making unlawful foreign contributions by providing volunteer manpower and organizational support. Now, whether this technically broke U.S. election law is arguable, but the political fallout was devastating and irreversible. Trump now sees the Labour Party not as allies, but as adversaries who actively work to block his victory and remove him from power. In Trump's view, Labour didn't just insult him, they declared war. And now he's striking back. The weapon of choice, economic warfare. Trump has already announced plans to impose massive tariffs on countries that fail to show proper respect to America. Reports suggest Britain sits right at the top of that target list. Let's break down what this means for ordinary British households. The U.S. remains Britain's largest single trade partner, responsible for over £280 billion in annual commerce. UK exports to America span luxury cars, aerospace parts, financial services, and pharmaceuticals. If Trump enforces these tariff threats, British exports could face crushing taxes of 25% or more. This would render UK goods uncompetitive in US markets overnight. Manufacturing jobs across the Midlands and North would vanish. The pound could collapse against the dollar, driving up the cost of everything from energy to groceries for British consumers. And what is Starmer doing about this looming economic catastrophe? He's scrambling to secure calls with Trump, sending frantic congratulatory notes through diplomatic channels, practically pleading for a meeting. Yet Trump's team isn't even answering Britain's outreach. UK diplomatic insiders reveal American officials are freezing them out at international gatherings. Britain has effectively been blacklisted by the Trump White House. The depth of Trump's disdain became undeniable with the Peter Mandelson appointment. Starmer selected Mandelson as Britain's new ambassador to Washington, a figure who represents everything Trump detests about the globalist establishment. Mandelson is synonymous with Tony Blair's New Labour, EU integration, and cozy ties with international elites. To Trump's circle, naming Mandelson was like sending a deliberate insult disguised as diplomatic credentials. Reports from Washington indicate his name is openly mocked in Republican circles. Some Trump advisors have allegedly called the choice laughable and hinted Mandelson might not even gain proper access to senior U.S. officials. This is unprecedented. The UK ambassador to Washington has traditionally been one of the most influential diplomatic roles in the world. Now Britain's representative is being treated as a pariah before even setting foot in office. As if economic punishment and diplomatic exclusion weren't enough, Elon Musk has launched his own campaign against Starmer's government. And when the world's wealthiest man decides to crush your credibility, he wields tools most can't imagine. Musk is weaponizing his X platform, with its 500 million active users, to systematically attack Starmer's legitimacy on a global stage. He's zeroing in on Labour's most damaging weaknesses: the grooming gang scandals, curbs on free expression, and what he brands their authoritarian tendencies. But Musk isn't stopping at online criticism. He's taking tangible political steps. He has publicly endorsed Nigel Farage's Reform UK party, essentially using his massive platform to tell British voters to topple their government. He's even threatening to bankroll Reform UK with vast sums that could transform the entire political landscape. Think about the scale of this. A foreign billionaire is now openly interfering in British politics, and large sections of the public are applauding him. Why? Because they believe Musk is defending British values that their own leaders have abandoned. The humiliation for Starmer could not be starker. While Britain's elected prime minister was frozen out of Trump's inauguration, guess who received red carpet treatment? Nigel Farage, a man with no official government role, was paraded through Trump's events like visiting royalty. Trump hailed him as spectacular and highly respected during his speech, praising him before a global television audience. Trump even claimed Farage had taught him political strategy, saying, "I think he was watching my speeches in the European Parliament for many years before he decided to run. I know that to be true." Whether accurate or not, the signal was obvious. Trump views Farage as a genuine political figure and Starmer as irrelevant. The optics are devastating. Trump favors Britain's opposition leader over the nation's sitting prime minister. Farage is now casting himself as the only British politician capable of repairing the special relationship, and Trump is effectively endorsing that message. Behind closed doors in Westminster, Labour MPs are in panic. Senior members are quietly raising the question that terrifies party leadership. Is keeping Starmer in charge worth sacrificing Britain's ties with America for the next 4 years? The reality is harsh. Trump has 4 years in office, 4 years to punish Britain economically, exclude it from global negotiations, and create new alliances while freezing the UK out. Multiple reports suggest leadership challenges are already being discussed. Names like Wes Streeting and Angela Rayner are being floated as figures who might restore Washington's confidence. The case being made is blunt. Starmer has become personally toxic to Britain's national interests. But even replacing him might not solve the problem. Trump's grudges run deep, and he has a long memory. He may see any Labour leader as contaminated by association with the party that insulted him and interfered in his election. What makes Starmer's position even shakier is his government's perceived closeness to China. While Trump is assembling a global coalition to contain Beijing's influence, Starmer's administration has kept unusually warm relations with Chinese officials. Labour has been hesitant to take strong stands on Hong Kong, Taiwan, or broader human rights issues. They've avoided joining US-led efforts against Chinese tech firms. To Trump, This makes Starmer not just irrelevant, but potentially a liability to American security. Why would Washington share critical intelligence or advanced military technology with a government that Beijing might sway? This dynamic creates a dangerous cycle. The more Trump isolates Britain, the more Britain may turn to China as an alternative partner, something that would only harden Trump's mistrust. Political insiders are now openly debating what was once unthinkable, forcing Starmer out to salvage Britain's international standing. That argument is becoming harder to dismiss. Every day Starmer stays in office, Britain's relationship with Trump's America worsens. Every snub, every exclusion, every trade threat further weakens Britain's global image. Other nations are watching closely and adjusting their policies in response. Why prioritize ties with Britain if it carries no weight in Washington? Why include Britain in major global talks if America doesn't respect its leadership? Trump has already shown he's willing to punish allies who cross him. From NAFTA renegotiations to NATO spending battles to tariff wars with China, Britain is about to learn the same lesson. In Trump's world, personal loyalty outweighs historic partnerships. Disloyalty brings severe, tangible consequences. The escalation pattern is easy to trace. First comes diplomatic isolation, which is already underway. Then comes economic pressure through tariffs and trade barriers. Finally comes direct U.S. backing for political alternatives inside Britain. Right now, we're stuck between stages 1 and 2. The real question isn't if Trump will escalate, but how far he'll go, and whether Britain can withstand it. Starmer made a catastrophic political bet. He assumed Trump would never return to office, that Clinton, Biden, or Harris would dominate the White House for years to come. He believed he could insult and oppose Trump without consequences. That calculation was spectacularly wrong. Now Britain is paying the price for his misjudgment, and the costs are still climbing. The special relationship that defined Anglo-American unity since World War II is unraveling in real time. The economic fallout for British households could be devastating. The political consequences could reshape Britain for an entire generation. Will Labour sacrifice Starmer to preserve Britain's standing with Trump's America? Or will they let national interests suffer to protect party loyalty? Can the damage be repaired? Or is it already irreversible? This crisis is developing quickly, with new diplomatic snubs and economic threats appearing almost daily. The next few months could decide Britain's role on the global stage for decades to come. Make sure you don't miss how this unprecedented standoff plays out. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications because the next update could change everything.